Hey folks, been a long day, but welcome back. By the way, welcome back. I got a little distracted. I wanna say granite dust before I forget the words. So, welcome back. On the way back from work, as I do at least once a week, I go right through a town that has that grocery store that used to have all kinds of 10 for 10, right? It's an IGA, and they sell Best Yet, along with, the more popular name brands. So I stopped in there just to see what's going on, and if there was any deals, then I would pick them up, right? Remember those Knorr side dishes, the little envelopes there? We used to be able to get them for the longest time for 10 for 10, right? And they're good just to throw somewhere, and if you want a quick, easy meal, just open one up and add a little water. It says to add milk and butter if you want. I just add water. I don't bother with the rest of it. So those went from 10 to 10, 10 packages for $10, up to 2 packages to $3. Today they were $1.99 each, folks. Right? So usually Tuesdays, this store has a senior discount day on Tuesdays. And so usually those days you get the older people shopping. Well, today's Monday, folks. And I went in there, and I was in there about 2 o'clock. And I was looking around and sputtering under my breath, right, at the prices. But I noticed senior citizens they weren't picking things up and handling and putting them in their cart. They were just standing back and just looking at prices and just looking at items. And their carts are pretty sparse, folks. And I kept asking myself, why are these people here on a Monday when the senior discount is tomorrow on Tuesday? Well, see, folks, if you're 55 and older, you qualify for the senior discount. Well, I was there on Monday and not on Tuesday as well. So, yeah, but I was going by, right? I can't take 20-25 minutes from here to go down to that store and come back and come ahead on a Tuesday if I'm going right by on a Monday, right? That's gonna save me 45 minutes travel and gas and wear and tear, and so I weren't there on a Tuesday either. But all these folks had blank looks on their face, and they weren't picking things up, like I said, and their carts were pretty sparse, folks. So I'm like, well, how am I behaving? I was doing the same thing, folks. I was sputtering under my breath, and I might have said a few things out loud, softly. So finally I bit the bullet, and there's one lady, she was standing there about 10 feet away, and she was just looking. And I was just looking. So I walked over to her and asked her if she was looking for something in particular, because I would help her find it. And she looked at me and she said, "I'm looking for cheaper prices." I said, "Yes, ma'am, I understand every bit of that. I do." And she's not a wealthy woman. She's on retirement. And the prices keep going up. She said her husband passed away about 3 years ago. And she was glad because he wouldn't want to see the country going the way it was. I told her I understood that. So, a lot of somber faces. The only ones that were smiling were the cashiers. And like I said in one of my other videos, they don't know me from Adam, but they know my friendly face, and they always go out of their way to speak. And I know their names because I took the initiative to ask them their name and thank them for the job that they do, because they're hearing a lot of grumbling, right? It's not their fault, folks. They're there to earn money too, to try to live just like the rest of us. So I just felt I had to say that. The granite dust, folks. There's an old fuddy-dud that pulls into the dooryard, and he's mentioned this the last 3 times that he's pulled in. Nice guy, very nice guy. Used to be a pastor. He bought my other Subaru, and he says, so I was complaining about the prices and having to do some birds in because the feed was going up, and I don't need this many birds anyway. And that I couldn't afford for them to bring back all kinds of babies this summer, so they're locked in, right? They're in a fenced-in area with a canopy, a fence canopy. And for those of you who know what a snow fence is, that's what I use for the canopy. And just zip tie them. You know, they're 4 feet wide, and I just zip tied the edges together and propped it up on T-posts, right? So he told me that years ago, the thing to plant when you were poor was all the food that you could put in the ground, right? And then preserve every bit of that, what you didn't eat fresh. But for fertilizer, they couldn't afford fertilizer, and of course it was a lot cheaper back then too, right? But they use granite dust, folks. And he said you can get it right at Lowe's for like $3 to $5 for a big bag. So the fertilizer for a big bag, I priced it for someone the other day. You know, I put a $20 bill in that last bag that I bought, right? It's gone up 27 something now, folks. So this guy, this old man, he swears by granite dust. He said it's got 57 minerals and nutrients that the plants really like, and it brings out the flavor of the vegetable. Now I do know that when I transplant my tomato plants, I put a little sifted wood ash from my wood stove, and I put a little Epsom salt, right? And that sweetens up the tomato, right? A lot of you know that. So he swears by it. He said it's a lot cheaper. He said, but it takes a lot more than regular fertilizer, but it was still cheaper in the end, he said. So I don't know. I asked him what the ratio was, and he said 1 pound per square foot garden row. I don't know how heavy it is. I don't know if it's heavy like concrete powder. I don't know if it's that heavy, or if it's light like cornmeal. I don't know, folks. I don't even know what it looks like. But that's something for you to maybe research if you can't get fertilizer. And if you can get your hands on some granite dust, it might be worth a trial, or you might want to get a few bags and keep it on hand for another year, right? Because, you know, it's getting bad now. Honestly, I can't even imagine what it's going to be in another year, folks. I think it's going to be something that we have never seen. Woo! I got a hardwood plank here resting on a birch pile. And you almost saw me tumble down off the driveway, folks. So, but I'm sure one of you would try to jump through the camera to help this old decrepit lady up, because I feel pretty old today, let me tell you. About every joint hurts, so I know there's rain coming next couple of days. It's gotta be. So anyway, thank you all for stopping by. I'm just basically rambling. That's just what I saw her into the store. This is the disbelief in wanting lower prices for the older folks, right? Because I'm sure they remember way back when it was a whole lot cheaper too, right? So if we think it's a shock at our age, at my age, imagine what kind of a shock it is from when they were young and spry, right? So anyway, thanks for joining. Thanks for listening to this old maniac ramble. Check out the Granite dust if you would like. I have not got a chance to do that, but he swears by it. He swears by it. And he said even though it takes more, he thought it was comparable enough. Now I don't know what that means. Comparable enough to 10-10-10. I don't know, folks. But that's something for you to research. That's something for me to research. And I haven't even... I come home and threw a bandana on because I hate those scragglies, right? When you get a little older, folks, your hair turns white or silver like mine, gray. They get stiff, they get brittle, they break, and then you try to put your hair back and they just stick every which way, and then a breeze comes up and they get in your eyes. And don't get old, folks, don't get old. So I guess that's it. So it's pretty warm out. It's probably mid-50s. The breeze is comparable. A little cloudy. We'll take every bit of it. It's not snowing. So, and the black flies on out. And the peepers are amazingly quiet for being this time of day. So, I guess life is good in a lot of ways, right? You gotta keep our chin up. Alright, folks. Thanks for stopping by. Come again.